Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So here I am, driving to my swim lesson after dropping off my youngest boy at daycare, my eldest boy at school. And I'm like, what am I going to talk about with you today, sister? You know, I always speak into what's relevant, right? Like what's happening in my life, the lessons that I'm learning and sharing them with you and giving you something to do as part of that more tip. And so what's happening for me right now is a lot of like breaking apart of who I am. And the biggest insight, at least that I have in this moment for you, it could be different later today, it could be different tomorrow. So interesting, I had somebody leave a iTunes review, as I've talked about in past podcast episodes. There's definitely some that do not like my message, which is it just is, right? It just is. But it's funny because there was one saying like, she contradicts herself, and I'm like, that's actually probably correct. Not intentionally though, but just because, well, I'm changing and we evolve as human beings. So yeah, what I believed to once be true is actually not. And that's actually a good segue into this conversation today, because that's exactly why there's this massive shift, this up-leveling, this feeling like a breakdown that's happening for me. And I use those words intentionally, for me, inside of me, to experience and see something that I can't see right now. And the thing to know about this space, which you may be in at one point in your life, I think we will all be brought to our knees with different things at different times in life. You know, I can think and look back on when, 7.5 years that my husband Ed and I tried to get pregnant and could not. And 7.5 years in, after being on the adoption wait list for over 2 years, that we were finally gifted with our beautiful son, Tyson, when his birth mom, Chanel, chose us. And so it began, parenthood. And so there was like a 7.5 years of like a slow breaking apart. Like a slow fall. Ever seen that with like kids sometimes? They'll do these slow falls. Like you can see them happening. It's like, sometimes it'll be a little more like when they're really little, like they're babies, like they're kind of like discovering balance. You're like, oh, he's up. No, oh, he's going down. It's just this slow movement, right? Because they're not moving as fast at that point too. I also look back to when we were going through a bankruptcy, and there was probably a good year or two leading up to like, okay, we are in some financial shit, but let me just bury my head in the sand a little bit further, and because I don't want to think about it. Maybe it'll just all go away. Let's keep working hard at earning more money, and like it'll fix itself, right? I can think of the pain that I went through when my husband went into the hospital for emergency surgery and had the majority of his colon removed. And then the leading up to the waiting of that, and then the recovery after that, and the probably a good couple years of things that were so bad. He still goes through times of just pretty incredible flare-ups and pain every single day. But some really bad ones, like being taken, in an ambulance to the hospital like midnight because the pain had, increased so much. And we have a young baby now and I can't go with him. So, a lot of those kind of moments where you kind of go, what the fuck, holy fuck, like this sucks, where it's just the lowest of lows. So you're going to have those moments, and then you can have moments like I'm experiencing right now, where I look around and I go, oh my God, my husband and I, like, more love, more connected, more hot for each other, more connected on a not just physical, emotional, spiritual plane. After like 25 and a half years together, it's crazy. We just celebrated our 18th anniversary in marriage, but we were together 7.5 years before we got married. I look at my boys and I go, yeah, they're challenging. All kids are challenged at different points, right? But I'm just so thankful for them. I took a look at like where we live, and I look across the street and like there's the ocean, and I get to walk, my dogs every single morning along the ocean. I look at how much I've structured my life of when I meditate and when I walk my dogs and when I read and I study and I journal and when I teach and when I coach and when we have time with like, it's just how much that I like truly love who I am, accept who I am and accept my body and love, for the most part, still a work in process, my body and all of that. And I go, what's wrong with me? Why? Like, it's that thing that some of you will say to me of like, I feel like I want more. You're attracted to the podcast. This message speak up more. Like, it really speaks to me, Karen, but I feel guilty. Like somehow I shouldn't want for something more, because shouldn't I just be grateful for what I have? So I get that. I understand that feeling, sister, because I'm kind of like in that space where I'm like, Karen, you got a lot of things that you've been working for so long. And yes, there's, I'm trying to figure out still some pieces of the business and this message and this movement and how do I connect with you. Women listen to the podcast is one thing. Actually taking action from it is another. Actually saying, I'm going to invest in myself, time, energy, dollars, and really work on me. Because I have a lot of women that follow me, but not a lot that are really taking the jump to there. And it's been frustrating, and it's a feeling of feeling very taken and like sucked dry. Like I'm just give. But yet taking care of me, like not run myself in the ground, not being the martyr, because I know I've done that role before. It's not this. But, yes, that's coming up, but it's kind of this feeling of like, Karen, yeah, again, like, what's your fucking problem? And it is messy. It is uncomfortable. It is not knowing what things really look like anymore. And knowing that there's a big pull, a big reconnection to me back to spirit that I never really had. I think we're all born into this with that spiritual connection to universe, source, God, whatever you want to classify it as. But it had been disconnected for years. Like since I can remember. I don't ever remember, like my parents were part of a religion, which is called the Emissaries of Divine Light. People saw it as kind of really weird and freaky and, cultish. It was not maybe it was a little weird and freaky. Just, it wasn't Catholic or Christian or Jewish or, it didn't have a huge denomination of, followers and all this, but no, not weird, but I was never really invited into that. It was more, when I reflect on it now, it was more a spiritual experience that my parents were going through separately for themselves that really helped them during difficult times, and that they experienced together as a married couple. But it, although there was stuff for the kids, it wasn't that for me, at least. Maybe that was the intention, but that's not the way it ever worked out for me. And so I feel this, but yet at the same time when I'm reading and I'm listening to things and I'm journaling and I'm really reflecting, and the therapist that Ed and I see for marriage, we've been seeing a marriage therapist for the last probably, I'll say 5 months. Yeah, which has helped immensely. It's helped us go from hey, things are really great to wow, this is really helping us get to a place that we wanted to go to next, but we felt stuck. We felt we're in these circular conversations and not really moving forward, and nothing's bad. There's no divorce talk. It's nothing like that. And we're so good together, but we wanted to go to the next place. And so our therapist, Daniel, has really helped us with that. But I also have had some sessions of seeing just him solo. And yeah, this feeling of just nothing kind of really looks and feels the same anymore. But yet feeling that, okay, if it's because I don't allow God to come into my life and or relieve, I used to call myself an atheist. I remember when I was in chiropractic college, and when Ed and I used to live in Ottawa and Toronto before that, and would have people come to the door, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, and I remember one time saying well, you can keep on talking of it I'm an atheist, so no thank you. I didn't believe in God. What kind of God would create this fucked up world? What kind of God would not allow me to have children? What kind of God would, create sickness and illness in my husband's body? So when I recognize that now, sister, and I go, this is it. And I can feel it. I'm and I'm saying the G word, and it sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but I'm And then here comes ego, and ego's like resisting and like, no, but you're the fucking badass bitch. Come on now. You know what that is. Get in your face. And that's still who I am. And none of who I've shown up as who I was before was fake. It was very authentic. It was very real. It's still a piece of me. Like, there's always going to be a piece of me that wants to just like, give you the middle finger. Come on. It's fun, right? That is a piece of me, that rebellious spirit that like, let me walk the way I want to walk and talk the way I want to talk. And if you don't like it, that's okay, but I'm going to be me. But yet, yeah, this pull to God. And so kind of thinking, I'm like, so if I recognize that's the missing piece, that emptiness feeling is because I haven't allowed God in. And it's like the same things that used to light me up, they're just not anymore. It's kind of it's slowly starting to flicker back. But things like, so for example, I just did a boudoir shoot about a week and a half ago with my good friend Jane Williams. We've done 3 together with her being in Vancouver. One when she used to live where I used to live in St. Albert, Alberta. And that was many, many years ago. It was before I turned 40. And then I did one at 47, 48, and then at the age of 49, this year. And I always get them back and I'm like, oh man, I'm smoking hot. Like, this is awesome. Like, it feels really good, and it's the experience of doing the shoot, and it's all these things, right? And I went into this one going like, I feel good about my body. Is my body perfect looking? Fuck no. But I love it. Like, it's good. There's still pieces of me that I'm like, this could be better, right? It's that hard shift to get out of as a woman, that thing of like, our bodies aren't good enough, and but yet, I got the pictures back, and I'm thrilled with them. Like, they're amazing. Jen's incredible. Love her to death. She's just so amazing, and the experience that provided for me. But it just doesn't have the same feel. Like even walking my dogs along the ocean doesn't have the same feel. I used to like just walk outside, cross the street, and as soon as I'd see the ocean, be like, my whole being would relax. And I just was very like present, just like kind of life slowed down. And I'm just not feeling those same things anymore. Even coaching with clients, I'm just like at present, but it's just like, again, like there's something missing in there, right? And so knowing that missing piece is God and his spirituality and this like acceptance on a much bigger level of like really getting trust and surrender, right? Really understanding that, listen, we're all fucking connected. We're all the same. Of learning to kind of let go of some of the like feelings I have about religion and some of the, even just the word Christ to me kind of just like, I think I like movies and stuff like, the power of Christ compels me. It used to be the word of Christ compelled me. I'm like, I don't want to hear this religious stuff. I don't want to hear the dogma. I don't want to hear about all this repression that happens and all the evil shit in religion. But like, honestly, it's like anything, right? There can be good and bad pieces of it. But as I feel this and I'm like, that's it. I got to connect back into spirit, source, God. And then kind of going, okay, well, I thought it'd just kind of be like you find the last puzzle piece in a puzzle and you put it in and you go, pop, there's the picture. No, actually, no, it's not like that at all. It is my ego. It is, the resistance. What I have to prove is the resistance kind of saying like, no, we're going to kick and scream this shift because we know the other Karen, like, we're really comfortable with that. We know that. And so this new Karen, like, you're remembering who you are? Oh, no. And it's like holding on to something, right? It's kind of like, you probably heard that famous quote. It's kind of like when there's like a new idea, right? Or a new idea. That first it'll be, people will make fun of it, they'll ridicule it, and it'll be vehemently opposed. People will just fight it tooth and nail. Then it's accepted as truth. And so I'm kind of at that second piece. It's just like vehemently opposed. The piece of me, ego, whatever you want to call it, the resistance, it's just like, oh, hell no. Like, no. Nope. And so I'll notice that. I'll find myself being in a really loving space, and then suddenly I just yell at Kai because I'm mad. Like, rah! And I can feel it now. I can feel when I move into fear, because that's what that is. And I can feel when I move towards and when I'm in a space of love. It's dramatically different, the experience. So why I'm speaking to you into this whole thing today and sharing my whole, journey shift, all this stuff inside of me. Well, I think that's because when it comes to any kind of journey, path that you take, new idea, business venture, relationship, new way of parenting, new way of being, the path is messy. It's not an A plus B equals C. It's not. And I think we tend to kind of trip ourselves up, and then we tend to sabotage and just drop it all because we expect and we think it's supposed to look that way. And I'm here to tell you today, sister, if anything that you hear, you need to hear this. It's not. And it's not supposed to be clean and easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's not supposed to be. It's just not. And so the more that you unattach to how you think it's supposed to look and just be in the experience, the more you'll be in the experience. That's it. So more tip for today. Whatever you look at your life that you think needs to be a certain way, completely freaking unattach and just let go of that. And understand then that it's happening for you exactly the way it's supposed to, and really understand the meaning of trust and surrender. And there you go, sister. So more tips. Woman Want to More newsletter. You need to be on it. We're going to keep this short and sweet because I got 3 minutes till my swim lesson. And so head over to drkarenosborn.com/action guide and opt in for that. I'm going to send you some cool stuff with that as a gift and as a welcome. Number 2, join the sisterhood. Be around women who are like you. If you're not, this path is, if not clearly difficult, I think impossible to do. Again, we are all one. We're all connected. So don't try to do this in isolation. Sisterhood was designed for that. So that's over at drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. And then share up this podcast. Who do you know needs to hear this message today? Share it with him. There you go, sister. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Life of more is one step away from you doing this fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.